Hey, Boo Showers, how you doing? So tonight we're still going to talk about the martial arts. Thursday, I might do a live stream about with a special person. I'm just going to keep it under wraps for now. That's good. So, April, what are your thoughts about the Trump incident over the weekend? Do you have any opinions about it? Do you think that if a lot of people think that it was staged, but then certain people said that it was real? So, what are your thoughts about it? I just want to know. I've been doing okay, I'm just working, staying off the way, just trying to do new things in my content and everything. And talking to Jose to move on your recovery. Actually, the link is actually let me do something. I thought the link was actually in the description. Got you. Hey, Golden Goddess, how you doing? How's everything up in Florida? Out here it's raining. Here in Philadelphia. I don't know about New York. It's about to rain. Nah, I've been like this, so therefore my special guest Pete is gonna come. So he has to do something, so he's gonna come back. I'm good. I mean, yo, I'm just chilling with my handsome self. Too many people trying to call me ugly and my family ugly. My wife don't think so, so I don't really care what the world thinks. Person could call me ugly all they want. They could try to call my late father that also, but guess what? He had gotten with my mom. He was a good person, and my wife thinks that I'm handsome, so I don't care. Exactly. So I'm just gonna be my handsome self. I don't care what the haters say. I mean, to me, is this. They could say whatever, but guess what? You're a lady with a husband, so apparently all the insults is just futile. Because half the people who are actually insulting are not even in stable relationships themselves. Yeah, I know, right? And it's like in my thing, I've seen women that have actually said, "Hey, you look great," and all that other stuff. Or like, "Why, thank you, but I'm married." So I got stairs and everything like that. So I know that there's something about me that I guess the opposite sex gravitates towards. And I'm just a silent type. So let's see. I mean, it is. It's funny that people always want to go to looks and everything like that. I mean, I don't care. And then on top of it, they want to use my real name, telling the whole world that they know me. When the fact is, I'll never, I'll never be beside that piece of about. I'll never be besides pieces of filth anyway. So a person could go and mention my real name all they want. Y'all don't know me, and that's how I'm just gonna keep it. Yo, Gigi, you heard that certain people are trying to go at Jose, trying to accuse Jose of having herpes. I'm like, really? You want to talk about something that doesn't exist, which is a supposed canker store. I mean, me and Jose, that we were just chilling with each other like maybe 2 months ago. I don't know what certain idiots will be talking about. I mean, it's funny that people have to make nursery rhyme disses to grown people. Despicable. Exactly. That's what I do. And hopefully, and you know what? I'm gonna pray that my channel does grow, and we just do the positive things. You know what I mean? Nah, I'm actually waiting for Pete. So he's going to be coming in soon. So April said that she's going to come. Maybe I don't know what's holding her up, but hey, she's welcome to the panel also. Hey Gigi, you're welcome to come up in the panel also. What's good?
Hello, universe.
Yeah.
All right. Like always, I want to take the opportunity to thank God for this opportunity and, thank God for the good and bad that happened today. Thank God for the chance to participate. Thank God for the chance to be able to share knowledge. Thank God to be able to share the opportunity to bless, the viewers, the listeners, the sharers, the commentators, the people that talk about the show after the show is done, the people that discuss this show after we've discussed it. You know, um, I just want to bless all the followers, all future followers, and like I said, there's big expectations for this show. It's a never ending show, it's a never ending program. There's always going to be a topic, there's always going to be um, some type of special guest or someone saying something, some expression of knowledge being spread out towards the community and towards our people. Once again, bless up to
Amen.
everyone.
Yep. Yeah. So let's see.
You, yeah.
So what?
The
Yo.
mute,
So when you gonna?
sorry,
So when
brother.
you gonna go?
The mute
It's all right.
button's going off and on.
I hear you. So when you making plans to go to San Pedro?
I've been making plans to go to San Pedro for the past 12 years, bro, and it has not been easy. It has
I understand.
it has not been easy. I don't have an ID. Like I haven't had an ID in 4 years, and right now I'm in the process of doing that, getting that done. Then I got to renew my passport,
All
and
right.
forget about it. But I've been trying to go back to San Pedro for the past 12 years, maybe 14 years. I haven't been to San
All
Pedro in
right.
almost 20 years.
Yeah. If anything, I could help. It's better to go. I'm about to try to get that joint soon. The real ID, because
Yeah.
sooner or later you need to use that whenever you're gonna go to the to the airports and such.
I mean, the passport card, I get it. That's the
No,
enhanced
no, no.
ID, the enhanced ID.
Yeah,
But
yeah. But I'm
it's
not
better,
talking about the passport card.
yeah,
I'm
it's better
talking
to
about
have
the
the
real
passport
ID.
book though. It's better to have the book.
Yeah,
But I understand the whole purpose of the card, because
yeah.
there's gonna be places where they're not gonna that you won't be able to use your regular ID. They need to see the enhanced one so that they can scan it.
Got you.
Yeah, regular IDs, they look cute and they have their little hologram and all their, because I used to do security. So I used to see a lot of IDs,
Yeah,
and they are official, they're government issued, but when it comes to certain levels of entry, you can only enter if you have the advanced enhanced ID, which is scannable on the computer, and it says all your info, without you having to say your info.
got you.
So that's one thing.
Yep.
Um, in other news, there was a chaplain that used to work under me. He was a sergeant of chaplains. He was minding his own business, doing what chaplains do at hospitals, and I don't think it was a patient, but a worker of the hospital rushed up on him for no reason. We're talking about a man of God. Most chaplains are
Right.
ministers. Most chaplains serve the Lord. Most chaplains are men of God. Okay,
Yes.
I mean, I get it. It's easy to go take a whatever a chaplain course, a EMS chaplain course, and become a chaplain. As I understand that, but there's a difference between someone that's a chaplain because they have God's calling to become a chaplain, and someone that just went and did a chaplain course. It's two different ball games. That's like
Yes,
saying
it is.
that's like saying someone who got called by God to become a pastor and someone who just went to school to become a pastor. It's two different people.
Right. Exactly.
This man, this sergeant was a man of God that really devoted his life to church, you know what I'm saying, and the following of the Lord. So that a co-worker of the hospital could come and stab this man in the neck and literally take this man's life over an argument over a microwave.
Wow. I
Over
mean,
over a microwave, bro. You took someone
I mean
else's
that's I
life.
mean that's crazy. I mean that's crazy. Certain people they don't. I mean, if you really look at it, certain people in this world, they just they don't have scruples. I mean, you have certain people who they'll just actually start a beef with you over this is my story, right? When I was in my job, right? Um, there was a guy that started a beef with me just because I didn't want the female that was looking at me. That doesn't make sense, right?
Wait, so because you're defending your own honor, he got upset at you?
Exactly, and start beefing with me.
That makes no obvious sense of any kind.
All right, so I'll tell you what it was, right? When I first started the job, there was a Dominican female who I'm not going to name
Of course.
because
Privacy
so
matters.
the exactly. So the female, I guess she had quote unquote the hots for me, but
Mhm.
always, but I was like, okay, I got at the time when I started the job, I was not married, so I was like, I got my girlfriend, and then the next year she became my fiance, and the year after that she became my wife.
Right.
So during those stages, right, this this female was always looking at me and everything like that while I was working. I didn't go around and give her nothing to talk to her or nothing because I know she was just bad news
Yeah,
all around, right?
you didn't give her the time of day.
That's what I'm trying to say. So while this female was looking at me whatsoever, there was a guy that liked her. But remind you, this female speaks our language, not the Americans' language. So this guy was having a reputation of just trying to treat Latino men bad, so therefore he could get this female. But remind you, this female did not knew that he was existing or anything like that. So apparently, while I was working one day, this guy gets mad at me just because she was paying attention to me.
Hmm.
And then after a while, when this female always used to come and everything like that, and I never really gave her the time of day, he got upset because in his mind he thinks that this female is it, and he's like, why all these guys don't want to do nothing? I'm like, most of these guys are married. Why the heck we're gonna go around and play with something, and then we got something better at home?
My question is, why would he get mad at that if he's trying to get at her, but nobody's paying attention to her? Who gets mad at that?
That guy was very mental.
Yeah.
So
So he sounds off.
uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, and then on top of it, it was just like beefing until he got fired for because when you do certain offenses within the job, it was
Right.
like he was actually going around walking behind women and everything. And if the job and if God forbid anything were to happen to any of these females, the job is going to get sued. So this guy was actually a walking lawsuit. So they had to get rid of him.
A walking sexual harassment lawsuit.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Hmm.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah.
One of my black belt colleagues, he um he just remembered for some reason because he forgot. He forgot that I do the show with you, and he asked me, "Oh, you don't, send me the link. You never send me the link." I'm like, "This is the first time you ever asked for a link, so I got you next time." But you know, don't ever say that I haven't invited you. He's like, "No, I just remembered. You link me up. I don't mind pulling up on da da da." I said, "All right, cool. I'll let you know. It's every
All
Wednesday."
right, that's what's up. Yep.
So he's actually he's the fellow black belt that was chilling with me one night that I was at a scaffold over here in Manhattan, in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and 10 dudes pulled up on me with two guns and they tried to rob me.
Wow.
And he was there with me. He's one of the people that was there with me, and there was someone else there with me too that he doesn't know so much martial arts, but out of four people swinging punches at him, he blocked all those punches. So he must know something.
Yeah.
And
Maybe the 52.
maybe the 52 blocks for real. Um,
Yep.
one guy pulled out a gun on me, and another guy pulled out a gun on him, on my homeboy. And it didn't take too long when I flipped the script and uh, grabbed one of the guns, and I grabbed someone and I slammed them, and there were four kids trying to hit the other kid, and the other kid was just blocking. And then Senpai did something and grabbed another kid, and he was gonna flip him, and didn't flip him.
Damn.
I'm like, yo, bro, it's okay. Not everybody needs to get flipped.
Wow.
That was about 4 years ago. It was I'm not gonna say it was exciting, but it was exhilarating. I wasn't expecting anything like that to happen to me in New York anyway, and
Right.
it was good to know that my body my body has good response time. I didn't hesitate at any moment, and I wasn't in jeopardy because I was able to control the situation, making the person think that I was the victim. I'm all right. My hands are up. You're the one with the gun. I'm the victim. My hands are up. You don't know the length
Mhm.
of my arms, but you think my arms are short because my hands are up. So cool. Get close, feel confident, because you're the one with the gun, so you're the intimidator. Feel confident, get closer, get closer. As soon as he was 2 steps away from me, that I went to go grab him, he panicked. He panicked and started screaming, "He's trying to grab me!" I'm like, "No, I'm not trying. I grabbed you." And I slammed him with all in the I
Uh,
slammed him with all in the gun in his hand. I slammed him. Bah!
oh.
And then took the gun out of his hand, like, so what are we doing here?
Mm.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. And he ran, and everybody else started running, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Wow. What type was it? Was it 9 milli or
Um,
total gun?
yeah, there was two 9 millimeters. There was two
Wow.
of them. One, like I said, one
Wow.
dude had one, another dude had one, and then there was another 8 characters there. I guess just to fill in space, because I didn't feel a punch on my body. I didn't get kicked. I didn't get nothing.
Wow.
So, let me let me send this link to Senpai. Send this link to Senpai. Give me one
All
second.
right.
See,
Got you.
let me see if he decides to actually pull up real quick. Share
Shout out
room.
Herbie. How you doing?
Irby.
Herbie. We good, we're talking about the martial arts and everything. And also we're talking about how certain people are jealous in this world.
Oh, that's funny. All right.
It
So
is.
I shared the link via Messenger to three different people. I have another fellow colleague, black belt, that he's the creator of his own system. His name is Angel
Oh
Rosado.
wow,
His name is Angel Rosado. He's been a karateka for over 40 years.
wow.
And I always see him during the Harlem Children's Festival, and
Uh huh.
that's when we talk systems and defense. But he found me the other day on Facebook, so I sent it to him as well. Sent him the link. If he decides to pull up, that would be nice because I consider him one of the OGs of karate as far as New York is concerned. Period.
Nah, you want to know something which is funny, right?
Yeah.
Before I actually left New York for Pennsylvania, right? Like back where I used to live, I used to know a security guard that he worked security, but yet he was like the owner of the Taekwondo up in 181st.
Okay.
Now now me and my homie, well, he sometimes be in the chat on WhatsApp too. My boy Jeffrey, aka Sombra.
Sombra. Okay.
So yeah, so Sombra, he has a black belt. He has a black belt directly from the Dominican Republic. So he
Cool.
took his son. So he took his son over there to 181st for Taekwondo and everything. So one
Mhm.
day, me and him, we were talking about like, yeah, I met somebody from 181st. Like, wait a minute, you talking about the master? I was like, yeah. He was like, when I went over there, I almost beat everybody. I was like, wow,
That's funny.
yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and then when I was living like right up in there, I met a, a Dominican dude that is he actually an expert at eagle claw. I
Ooh,
was
that's
like
cool.
that. Yeah,
That's a different ball game.
I know.
That's a different especially like most styles are derived from animals. But what's known
Yeah,
as the eagle's claw is its own system. Like it's really based off of only that. Same way
yeah.
mantis is based off of only mantis. You know, yes, there are forms that exist that are animalistic, but some forms that are animalistic in themselves are their own system. Unless you're
Mm,
dealing with a system like there's a system that's called five animal form. There's a system called seven animal form. There's a system called
yeah,
12 animal form. And then you have systems that
right.
are just based off of animals. And the whole system is just based off of that one animal. So it all depends on
Yeah,
what province of China that person's coming. But eagle, let's say eagle fish champion. If someone said there was an eagle fish champion, that basically means that they beat the whole country of participants in that certain style, which is amazing because that's like it's the equivalent of boxing, And it's like, oh,
wow,
okay, so you're the boxing fish champion, meaning you're the Golden Glove. You beating everyone in this town, technically, and it'll be like, yes.
wow.
Um, there's a title known as Sea King. Sea King is a title that entitles you to being the toughest person in that system. So they'll call
Mm.
you, oh, this person is the Sea King of karate. It's because he's the toughest karate participant in the world at that moment.
Oh,
Stuff like that.
yeah. Hmm.
But they do that in China. They don't necessarily do that in Japan and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Because one day I was talking to, well, when I used to read martial arts magazines and everything. So one day I was just talking online. Remember when it was Messenger and all that stuff? So I was talking to some cat from the West Coast. He was like, "Yeah, I learned Japanese kung fu." I was like, "Japanese kung fu." I was like, "Hold up, isn't that karate?" He was like, "No, it's Japanese kung fu." I was like, "I never heard that." But then again, you might have more knowledge about that than I do.
I mean, technically, this is just technical because I'll never say that my system is kung fu, but technically, Okinawan karate came from White Crane Kung Fu.
Yeah,
So the birth of mainland Japan's karate is a mix of what White Crane Kung Fu is, and whatever the first masters of the Okinawan district when they started, implementing karate into the system. Because karate is based off of rigid movement, hard movement. You know what I'm saying? Every blow is a finishing blow, as opposed to kung fu, it's very smooth and fast and per se balanced. It's balanced striking. A kung fu artist will easily turn around and punch you 3 times and kick you and then punch you again and then the fight is over.
wow.
A karate man is aiming to punch you once and you're done.
Hmm.
We're aiming to kick you once and you're done. So
Exactly.
kung fu shows a little more love. Let's put it like that. Kung fu will show a little more love towards the opponent as to I'm gonna neutralize you. I'm not just gonna beat you up. In karate, it's I'm gonna beat you up.
Right.
So I mean, if the kid said Japanese kung fu, the only way that
Yeah.
makes sense to me is if some Chinese people went to Japan and opened up a kung fu school and he learned kung fu from one of their students later on in life. So you have Japanese kung fu because it's a kung fu school in Japan. But Japanese kung fu in itself, that doesn't sound like something that even exists. Not saying that people in Japan don't know kung fu, because like I said, someone could have opened up a kung fu school and they learned it and then they kept teaching forward. But at the end of the day, it's not Japanese kung fu. It would still be regular Chinese kung fu learned by some Japanese people and spread forward to that extent. Is it raining? Is it raining over there where you at right now, bro?
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah,
mean, New York. I mean, New York and Philadelphia for some reason have like the same type of weather. When it rains up in New York, it's raining equally here in Philadelphia.
it's
And,
it's the
and I,
triangle. It's the triangle. It'll rain in New York, New Jersey, and PA all at the same time.
I mean, I went up and I looked at a map, and it's like since Philadelphia is more inwards, it's more, and then it's like that Jersey in certain parts is more inward. Like the way that we go from Philadelphia to New York City,
Delaware
it'll be
Waterfront.
like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, bro, it's that whole triangle area. When they say the tri-state area, I used to think they
mhm.
meant tri-state because they were counting boroughs like if they were states, and it's not true. They call it tri-state because of the connection between New York to New Jersey to PA. Like that's our tri-state area.
I actually for real though, when I actually thought about the tri-state area, right? It's like, okay, I always thought it was New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut at first.
Right.
But then now that you said that it's like the tri-state area, which is Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York, I'm like, it does make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, people from upstate New York we'll say that the
Hmm.
tri-state area is New York State, Connecticut, and whatever's in between, either Providence, Rhode Island, or something. But that's because that's their view from up there. From the city, if you zoom out and make a triangle, the triangle is gonna abark the reach of what New Jersey is, the majority of New York, of bits of the Bronx. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then it'll when the triangle comes down, it'll take all of what Brooklyn is, all the way into the Delaware water gap of what PA is, and then back up.
Yep.
So that triangle area is what the tri-state area is. The bridges that connect, these states together. To
Yeah.
make it seem as one. Even though, yeah, Connecticut is up the road. You know what I'm saying? You could literally Mount Haven. You could literally take I-95 up, but
Hmm.
I don't really feel like there's a big bridge to cross over to Connecticut. There's a big bridge to cross over to Jersey and a big bridge to cross over to PA.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Have you heard from Gaddafi lately?
I mean, I think I spoke to him a few days ago. We did like a show on Friday, so you know. So I guess I'll have to hit him up. But I know that I think it was Eric Clanton. He's in the chat room, or and then I think it was Eric Khan and what's the other guy's name? Because they just actually showcased the new joint that they had, and it's fire.
I went to school with these fools, which is hilarious. So when you mentioned Eddie Klein to me a long time ago, maybe like a few months ago, I was confused
Yeah.
because I'm like, who's Eddie
Uh-huh.
Klein? And you'd figure that I know because I was part of Perfect Clan. You'd figure that I would
Yeah.
know that, right? I'm like, who's that? And of course, Eddie Clan is someone who entered Perfect Clan after I had left San Pedro.
Yeah. That's what Gaddafi was actually filling in the gaps because he was talking about Eric Khan, right? And then he
Yeah.
was talking about Andoide, who is now Deeplan. So he was talking.
Diplan,
So
Diplan is someone
yeah.
that I went to school with.
Yep.
I know Diplan. And then it's
Hmm.
funny how I know all these people. I mean, I love being from San Pedro, right? SPM.
Right. Yep. That's a
Um,
band.
I went to the same private school that Villano went to. It's the same
Hmm.
private school that Diplan went to. Him and his other brothers. Okay,
Right.
I was in school with Jose Diplan, um,
Right.
his older brother, which is the guy that's in Perfect Clan, and the younger brother. So I know the Diplanes. They used to live right around Siete Catorce. They
Right.
lived right around that area. So I was laughing to
Hmm.
myself. I'm like, oh, Diplan got on top, got on to hip hop. That's I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, because when me and Gaddafi, well, as you know, we were talking on Friday and everything like that. He was breaking down the history of how Eric Gunn and Deep Lang, how they actually got into the group and such. I was
That's
interested.
beautiful. That's beautiful, man. Call me,
Oh,
call me,
oh,
color me impressed because, like I said, I know Diplan, and I know the Diplan
yeah.
family. And I
Hmm.
know, I know in the bottom of my mind and in the bottom of my heart that these are normal people that are just regularly good community people. So
Yeah.
out of nowhere,
It,
Diplo started doing rap. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm impressed. Not that I'm saying that he didn't have the talent to do it, because anyone has the talent to do it. You gotta exert yourself and do what you must. But that he
yeah.
actually did something. That track that Gaddafi put in the group with Diplang and Eddie, I'm like, yo, that was fire. That was pretty good.
Yo, dead. Because I was like, when I went up and down listening to it, I was like, I like the concept, I like the beat, I like the different styles and everything. And I was like, yo, this joint is fire. I even actually went up and put it on my Instagram. So I'm like, yo, this joint is fire.
I love that it's an original beat. It's not a sampled industry beat, and I love that it's
Mm-mm.
SPM servers with their own style, not biting off of anyone else. This is what made
Exactly.
hip hop to us. You know, all the stuff you
Exactly.
hear in America, and I'm sorry guys, but a lot of the stuff you guys listen on the radio are copycats of other copycats of other copycats, and it's sad.
Yes.
It's
Like
sad.
like like for like for example, right? Like there's a song that everybody be blasted about Jay-Z, right? But what people don't know, and I don't like this song from Jay-Z because I know where the original beat came from. So I don't know if you're familiar that this was one of the last joints that Biggie did before one of the last collaborations before Biggie passed away. So he went up and he did a collaboration with Tracy Lee from Philadelphia. So that beat, I don't care what anybody says, that beat is always gonna be. Whenever I hear that song, I actually think about them. I don't think about Jay-Z. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Yeah.
What's the original song? What's the beat?
Keep your hands high.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah. I know what you're talking
I don't know what's. I know that I've heard this song when Jay Z used it, like the like tin, 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 and I'm like, hold up,
about. It's like I know that.
isn't it? I was like, I know this song. I know I ain't bugging. So thank goodness for YouTube. I went up and I just listened to it. Like, yeah, I rather like the original better.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't like
Yeah,
I personally don't like remixes, not because of the lack of creativity, but I don't like remixes because if you mess up that remix, you just messed up someone else's legacy.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you really look at it, right, the remix rapper I did not like for whatever, and I don't even know how he even had a career was Lil Zane. Like Lil Zane, we just called him. I just called him the remix rapper because that's the only thing that you actually heard that guy from. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Yeah. So but going back to Eric and the Prom, I'm like, yo, I'm like this, I'm like this joint is I actually listen to that joint at work every day. You know what I'm saying?
There you
So
go.
yeah,
All I know is that listen, when I heard that track in the group, you know, it filled me with joy and it brought me back to let's say melancholy. You know what I'm saying? Me puso melancólico because
yeah.
it reminded me of what San Pedro is, bro. It reminded me of the essence of San Pedro, and I'm like, wow, like you know what, me voy a poner pa lo mío, and I'm gonna start really dedicating myself back more into music because I would, you know, I don't want to be famous because I was there once, but I don't mind other people becoming famous with something that I produce for them. I think I'm gonna get on top of the ball and I'm gonna start producing San Pedro beats, not just for San Pedro or for people exclusively for San Pedro, but beats to put San Pedro on the map more than what we
All right,
own.
all
You
right.
know,
So therefore, I got two people who I know that are super talented, right? In San Pedro right now, and I actually met them. It's my boy Neutron, and then it's Alicia. So therefore, those two, they know they rap, they've been grinding and everything like that. So whenever we and this I'm gonna send you some videos of what she did. and what Neutron did. So my boy Jaxiel, right? He's a producer and he's in a BX or whatever, right? So he made a drill beat with with the opera chorus. So he was like, "All right, I'm gonna have a contest and see whoever could rap on this beat and everything." So I went up and showed this to my own girl, Alicia. She was like, "Nah, I can't do it." But she went up and gave it to another rapper by the name of New Throne. Yo, este muchacho se prendió feo of that joint. I mean, like, yo, he just went up and killed it. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm trying to bring out most of the artists and everything like that because yo, like I even have my cousin up in Quisqueya by the name of Roblex. So I'm trying to bring him out too. So, he got 1,000 views on his channel, but I believe that he should get more. So I'm gonna even though
Yeah.
like
Pardon me.
I'm like, okay, it's all right.
Yeah, pardon me, brother. I was calling my daughter to wake up mom because it's always time for her to start getting ready to head out to the hospital.
Got you. Yeah.
Speaking of hospitals and stuff, so I've been working on the logo.
All right.
Not logo, logos.
Yeah.
I've been working on alternatives, and I found a few programs, and I just started playing around and and dibbling and dabbling, and I'm pretty happy with the results of what I'm doing and what I'm making. But
Right.
I want to honor I want to honor with a flag the logo that you had originally made for me, and
All right.
that we semi modified together.
Yeah.
I want to honor that with a flag. I want that to be, you know, the official flag of the system. And then the other modification logos that I'm making, I'm gonna I'm gonna turn around and make a syllabus program for each logo. In other words,
All right.
each logo will be like a patch on your gi, on your karate suit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, nice.
If you have this patch of this logo, that means that you're studying this, this, and this. If you have this patch, that means that you already mastered this patch and now you're doing this. Now, if you have the third patch, that means you've already mastered two parts of the system and you're on the third part. I just,
All right.
because I know the whole ranking system through the belt, technically it's just so that the teacher knows how to separate the students depending on the curriculum that they are. You don't want to reteach a yellow belt white belt stuff because the yellow belt already knows that.
Right.
So that's the whole purpose of, everyone has a belt. That way the teacher knows who's who, what to teach what. If you have a white belt, I'm not going to teach you green belt stuff because you're not at that level. You know.
Exactly.
Now with the patches the logos as patches, automatically depending on the logo that you have on your gi, I'm gonna know what what you're capable of learning at the moment and what not to teach you at the moment because you weren't taught the basics of that yet.
All right. I got a quick question. This is always a curiosity.
Hmm.
And me and Bijano, we talk, and he was shouting me out on his page and stuff. Now, from what I know and everything like that, from what people have told me. Now, I want to ask you a question. So I know that you are a martial artist as well. Was Vijano ever into martial arts?
Not that I know of, but that doesn't mean that he probably didn't train something somewhere.
All right,
Not that I know of though. But I know Villano got
gotcha.
hands. I know Villano got hands. I've seen him in a couple of fights. He got hands,
Oh
but
yeah, oh yeah, oh
I
yeah, of
don't know. I
course.
don't know about him being uh, a martial arts disciplinist.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him train ever. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Even though me and him have mutual friends that we used to train in that area. You know,
Hmm.
Senpai Roboalvi, you know, and a guy that we used to call Cacuelocrio because he had red hair, and another dude. They used to live behind the house that's Jorge Bel's house. All right. Now
Right.
that
Yeah.
house right now is Aneldi Bel's house, and Aneldi's one of my homeboys. I went to school with him as well. We're all Team Juan Pablo Duarte. All right, we all went to the same school. So
Yeah.
atrás de la casa de Aneldi, hay un edificio that it looks like a housing complex. Hay un edificio. En ese edificio,
Hmm.
there was five guys that I knew that were in Taekwondo, and there was another three guys that I knew that were in karate. And we would train together so that we could swap from each other's skills, you know, be a little more advanced. Roboalbi was one of them, you know, Cacuelocrio, um, Gaddafi was one of them, you know, with his Taekwondo, but he was mostly into boxing. So he didn't appear
Right.
every day. You know what I'm saying? He didn't appear
Right.
every day, but most of us would appear every day, even after class, you know, después del colegio, lo que sea. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the. But I think that question had two parts, though. What was the second part of that question?
The second part. Well, I thought it was going to be the second part, but then you just answered it for me.
Hmm.
So yeah, because when me and Gaddafi we were talking about the history and everything like that on our Friday show, he put me on to a lot of stuff I didn't even know. So I was like, wow.
So the second part of the question was Villano, or the second part of the question was
I thought that it would be a second part, but then it was like, okay, you just answered it for me, so the second part will not be. I guess I'll have to ask Bijano himself one of these days.
I mean,
So
it's a nice question, just because honestly, as well as I know Villano, you know, I hadn't seen Villano for a long time now. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And when I saw him most recently, when I saw him, when I most
yeah,
recently saw him, it was like maybe a
uh huh,
year ago. You know,
yeah. That
I
was
saw
an
him last year. He was in Brooklyn. You
all
know,
right,
before that, I hadn't seen him in almost the 20 years that I haven't been in San Pedro. So
right,
meanwhile, I know Villano because we were kids at one point. You know, we were going to the same
yeah,
school, you know, all that good stuff, participating in the hip hop community scene. So I don't know, in juventud and youth, I don't know if he ever studied Taekwondo, but
all right,
I'll tell you what though, because I know Villano well, he has discipline like he did study. So
yeah,
he may have studied in El Do de Julio with Elia and all those other people, but
hmm,
I was never in class with him, so I wouldn't know.
right. And one thing that I've seen, in San Pedro, that a lot of that most people, they speak English, and then you have certain people that don't. So when I always went to on my mother's side up in San Pedro, Sarmiento, Club de Leone, whenever I used to roll with my cousin David, yeah, like most of his friends spoke English or Spanish, but most of them spoke English to me.
Well, you know, San Pedro is one of the only provincias or states of Dominican Republic that has a bunch of cocolos.
Exactly, and I'm part of that heritage
We are
through my
Cocolo.
mother.
We are Cocolo City. We are Cocolo Central, and
Yep.
um, and that's because San Pedro at one point, you know, I don't quote me on this, but San Pedro at one point they were the only people running the sugarcane process at one point.
Yeah, we were.
It's like 4 or 5 factories. Ingenio Consuelo, Ingenio Vega,
And
which is
and your Angelina,
Ingenio
Santa Fe,
Angelina, Ingenio Santa
and your
Fe,
Quisqueya, and your
Ingenio Quisqueya,
Quisqueya, and
right?
your Pueblo Benin.
Porvenir, bro.
Yeah.
San Pedro, there's a reason why they call San Pedro la tacita de oro, which means
Mm-hmm.
the little golden cup. Because it wasn't just
Mm-hmm.
the ingenios making money in San Pedro. The Zona Franca of San Pedro, the industrial free zone, is huge.
I
I know because
know.
I worked there. I worked in La Zona Franca
Wow.
of San Pedro. You know,
My cousins work there.
I worked at the Wolverine factory with Junior
Wow.
Echevarria. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And when I got fired from there, you're gonna laugh. When I got fired from there, 2 months later, Villano started working there,
Wow.
which is hilarious. It's hilarious. I worked at a gold factory, a diamond bracelet factory, all the way in the back, the La Zona Franca, all the way in the back. That
Yeah.
you literally had to go to work an hour early because the walk from the front gate all the way to the back was like 20 minutes.
Wow.
It's bad, bro. It was bad. Like there's literally motoconchos inside of the Zona Franca. Like, oh, where you going? You going over here? All right, par de peso. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a small fare as opposed to a regular fare when you get on a motorcycle and go from here to a different barrio.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, especially when I was up in when I was up in Consuelo, I saw like a whole bunch of my family, and it was funny though, right?
It's pouring.
Like yeah, it is pouring.
It's pouring bad right now, right? It's going crazy right now. You
I
can't
know.
I can't even see out my window. It's that bad.
Wow, I got settled status.
Aguacero status for real.
Yo, I remember back in the days when I was like a teenager, being in San Pedro up in Calle Trinitaria, and when I used to be in my mom's house in Calle Trinitaria, I was like, yo, it rained. I remember one day it rained so strong you could not see the other house. You could not even see the other house from the street.
Across the street for real. And
Yep.
we're only talking about 15, 20 feet away. It's
Yeah.
not a New York street. It's a DR street. Talking about 15, 20
Exactly.
feet away. And you couldn't even see the color of the paint of that house. That's how strong the rain
Exactly.
is. And then,
Yeah.
entonces el Parque Central, el Parque Duarte, it floods. To pass through el Parque Duarte, you literally need to get on a little boat.
Yep.
It's bad, bro. I used to
Yeah.
live in the calle Doctor Alejo Martinez, and
Oh yeah, I know where that's at.
very simple, La Jerusalén Primera. Everybody knows the Jerusalén Primera church. Everyone.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
lived right in front of La Jerusalén Primera, and right
Hmm.
next to the Jerusalén Primera, my aunt lived right there. So
Wow.
it was crazy, bro. I remember one time it rained for 12 days straight.
Dag.
Bro, el Cuerpo Bombero de San Pedro, the fire department, they were going from house to house giving out bags of sand so that people could
Uh-huh.
barricade, you know, how much water the houses were taking.
Wow.
It was bad, bro. It was bad. Like there were people that they had to put the big 150 sacks, 150-pound sack of rice full of sand,
Wow.
right? They would put
Oh,
like four of those in front of the house, and then they would go
mm,
in with a machine, turn it on, and suck all the water out of the house, throw it back out.
right. Yep.
I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Just to get flooded again because it's Mother Nature. It's not stopping. If it keeps raining, it's gonna flood all over again. Yo, it was
Yep.
bad, man. How people say
I,
water up to
I,
the knees. People here be scared. Oh, I have water hitting up to my ankles. Have you ever had water hitting up to your chest? That's
yeah.
how San Pedro gets.
Hmm.
You got water hitting up to your chest, and you're just walking. Nah,
Exactly.
nah. This is why it's a privilege to live in Los Altos de San Pedro, which is the high grounds, what people call the hills.
Yeah.
Only problem with living in the hills, Los Altos de San Pedro,
Right.
those streets aren't all asphalted. A
Yeah.
lot of those streets are regular ground. And because it's the hills, do you know how slippery it is to go up a hill when it's full of mud?
yo,
In San Pedro,
yo, 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 don't remind me. That's like okay. My pop's part in Consuelo, right? La Loma. You
oh,
go back in the day. Back in the day. I remember when I was a kid, and that whole area had no pavement whatsoever.
at all.
So, yo, that's how you know that I've been out there. I remember back in the days that it
La
was like
Loma,
my grandmother's.
La Loma got pavement in 2002, something like that, 2003. La
Yeah,
Loma.
yeah. Now Loma was like, it was like it depends because certain sections did, but then it was like where La Cancha is at and everything like that. That joint didn't get paved until like around 2012, 20. Yeah, it had to be like around 2011, 2012. Because when I went up to visit my dad over there, the streets were still rocky. So I was like, so I know.
A lot of that area, the highways and streets, they're literally rocks, and they have been
Yeah,
flattened down over time. And
yeah,
those are the streets. If you go
hmm
to Angelina, Angelina didn't have pavement until like 2004, 2005,
right,
2010.
right,
Angelina was all rocks that were flattened out. And
hmm
then the main road, like if you're going in and out, because Angelina is like a puerton. There's a puerton when you go into Angelina. It's not like Consuelo. When
uh,
you go to Consuelo, you have to take the main road of San Pedro, go past El Tres y Medio, and then you
hmm
pass Angelina. And when you hit that left, then that's Consuelo. But Angelina, when
right,
you get to Angelina, it's like a puerton. You know what I'm saying?
right,
The 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 doors aren't there, but you can still see the
hmm
hinges, the old hinges to what the
exactly.
sugar factory used to be. So there's a puerton
Yep,
to go to Angelina.
right,
The puerton
yep,
had a paved street. That's the only street that was paved, but it wasn't really paved. It was bricks.
hmm
It was bricks set one side next to another, and that's how they left it. And then
right,
and then it got paved with regular black pavement, talvia.
yeah,
But man, San Pedro, bro, San Pedro is rich in history. I keep saying that.
yep, it is. I mean, I remember, like, okay, I remember when I was young, right? And at the corner of la Trinitaria, I think in La Independencia. So in La Independencia, and Calle Trinitaria, that there was a bread store, and then across the street was like an import store or import place where these Arab Dominicans
Yeah.
they actually did business or whatever.
Hold
So
on.
there was a whole
Hold
yeah.
on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. hold all the horses. Do you remember? Because you just said Trinitaria with Independencia. Do you
Hmm.
remember the big yellow house that was in the corner? That was Rocky's taller, that he used to do all types of stuff. He used to do carpentry. He used to do upholstery. He used to make rugs.
Yes, I
Yeah,
remember.
that's Rocky. Rest in peace. I think he's gone.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
brother.
it was like that house right there. It was
That's
like,
across the street from Titico Carrion.
yep, exactly. That's I remember because it was like back in the day when I was the last time I was around there. Not this time. I'm saying before I came back and stuff. When I was around that whole area, there used to be like there used to be like a video store, and there was an older lady that likes me. So we went to her crib back then. Whatever happened. But the thing is, though, I remember that area because I used to go to that area all the time when I was dating that older lady. So
I hear you. I hear you.
yeah,
So if you remember Rocky, that's going. That's like if you're walking the Trinitaria going to the park to ir para la calle 20, right? Let's go across the street
yeah,
the other way, like if you're going to the Juan Pablo Duarte. The first building
right,
that was there was it was like an almacén, right? But the next house was
yeah.
a house. Do you remember a lady named Blanca Iri?
The name sounds familiar. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, bro. Like I know a lot of people in San Pedro to the point where, like I said, I want to go back to San Pedro and run for mayor just cause.
Yeah.
Literally, just
Uh,
cause. Just
I
cause.
mean, shoot. I mean, shoot. As soon as I got my Dominican citizenship, I'll vote for you.
Just cause, bro. I have dual citizenship.
Exactly.
I have dual citizenship, but not the way they want us to have dual citizenship. Remember
Yeah.
when I was in San Pedro, not last, but the last time I was in San Pedro, that I was almost there for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Um, I had no ID. My mom had took my passport back with her to the United States. I was stranded in DR.
Oh wow.
And
So
family is
so
family, brother. I gotta thank
so
God
so,
for family, man.
so your mom's in the United States now. Or she's back over in San Pedro.
My mom's a teacher here in New York, so she's always here in New York. She visits the country like 5 times a year, so she knows what she's doing.
All right. So I got a question, right? Did you ask your father that question that I asked you like in the WhatsApp chat?
Yes, I did, but he didn't respond. So when I call him by video chat, I'm gonna ask him again because, like I said, my dad, just like just like my cousin Junior, his dad was Antonio Suarez, who is one of the Suarez of Consuelo.
Wait a minute. I've heard of that family.
La familia de Flor y esa gente, and these are people that they, especially Felito, these are people that they were the face of Consuelo because they always fought for Consuelo. Either
Yes.
politically or physically, like we're
Hmm.
fighting. And these
Yeah.
people, you know, s- this is what I love the most about my family. No one has a perfect family, but I can at least say that my family fought for the honor of the borough that they lived at, and they fought for the honor of the city that they live at, to the point where when the cops see them, the cops salute them, and they're civilians.
Exactly.
Like, mira, ahí va
I just
fulano, mira cómo tú estás, fulano. And they'll give him the military salute. Like, why are you giving a civilian a military salute? Oh, because that man's rescued cops before. That man rescued a fire department person. That man rescued a family from when a tornado drop the whole house on the family. Oh, that man. And there's a lot of heroes like that in San Pedro. This is why I say San Pedro is rich in history. There's a lot of local
Yeah,
heroes in San Pedro that at one
yeah.
point they may have lost
My
their
dad,
lives.
my
Yeah,
mhm. My dad was one of them. Meaning that in Consuelo,
Manolo.
no, between him and between my uncle Manolo, there
I
was
know. I knew Manolo, and I didn't know your dad. Lau.
yeah.
Yeah, I never met your dad, but through family, I know I
Uh,
met Manolo. I was probably at
uh,
one of those city to city parties. What do you call that? Patronale. I was at the
yeah,
Patronale of Consuelo, and that's where I met Manolo. I was presented to him
yeah.
via the family through the Suarez. I was presented to him. Ah, mira, este muchacho, este Manolo, tú sabes, Manolo es uno de los servidores del pueblo.
The,
It means a lot, bro.
yep,
When they say servidor del pueblo, it doesn't just mean that you
yep.
serve the city. There's a hidden meaning behind that. It means
I'm
that
gonna,
you
I'm
live up
gonna,
to the honor of that city. Listen,
yeah. I
you
know.
live.
And,
Go ahead,
and
bro.
I'm gonna tell you one thing about my uncle.
Yeah,
My uncle, may God rest his soul.
que descanse en paz.
He, see, he was like, like how certain people, they'll be like, okay, like how Keenan Ivory Wings went up and brought put most of his family on.
Yeah,
He was like that. He was like that. So I give that man the ultimate respect to to forever, because if he didn't go around and get like his brothers and everything like that, I wouldn't have been born in the United States. I cried when that man. I cried when that man passed away. I mean, and then later on, when your eldest pass away, you wonder where you get some of your stuff from. My dad, and you know what was funny? If my dad was alive, my dad would have my dad would have had a picture, because me and him, we both loved Bruce Lee,
yeah,
and we didn't even know that Bruce Lee was up in Dominican Republic in 1972, bro, drinking a Presidente.
that's crazy.
I know.
Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee. A lot of people don't know that. Bruce Lee was a regular person.
Yeah.
We a lot of us are starstruck of what Bruce Lee was in Hollywood, and we don't understand the original history of gangster Bruce Lee. Street Fighter Lee. You
Hmm.
know, a lot of people just show him martial arts respect because they saw him on TV, kicking butt. But a lot of us that actually dug into his history and found out that,
Hmm.
at one point he was a local bully, he was a local gang member fighting people. It makes you think, like, isn't martial arts about discipline?
Yeah,
Yes.
but yes, but then if you really look at it, right? A
Right.
lot of people is like this. When Bruce Lee was born and then he went back to Hong Kong, right? Bruce Lee, the way that the Chinese society was at that time, they it was like on his mom's side was the whole tongues, right? The whole tongues, they were the ones that they were Euro-Asian, they were mixed with German and stuff, but they were actually part of the you know
Mainland.
their family. Yeah, they were part of there was like I guess the mixed race of Hong Kong,
Right.
and then the regular Chinese, they didn't really like that. It was
Okay.
even almost to the point. It was even almost to the point that it was the whole tongues. that Grace Hotel, Bruce Lee's mother, was from a very wealthy family. But when it's a regular Chinese society, they didn't really look at Bruce Lee as one of their own, and that's why Ip Man had to teach him in secret Wing Chun.
Correct.
So and then apart from that, in Hong Kong at the time, the Japanese they actually controlled Hong Kong until 1945. So by the time that Bruce Lee came up, most people in Hong Kong were poor, or they were just, or afterwards they was fleeing the Civil War from 47 to 49, entering Hong Kong. So, so when you have like that influx of everybody who's coming from the mainland, you have Cantonese and Mandarin and people not even understanding each other. It's you know, it could bring it could bring a lot of conflicts, and that's why Bruce Lee had to do what he had to do.
Oh yeah, I already know. I know that's a fact. Um,
Yeah,
but the focus was bringing the past to then bring up the present to then bring up the future. We talk
yes,
about martial arts being a discipline, right?
right,
How is it, let's say in the future, but it's actually in our past now.
right,
Forward down the line, Bruce Lee comes up and starts implementing his knowledge and making his own system. So I think he created three systems. One of them he dubbed, and then one of them he called Jeet Kune Do, and then there was another one. All right.
mm,
When he created Jeet Kune Do, here comes the discipline of the martial arts.
right,
Now we're dealing with a Bruce Lee who has matured as a man mentally and physically and spiritually. As to the Bruce Lee who was a street thug, street fighter, who had the reputation of, oh, I kick butt, for $1, it was no longer that person anymore. It was a mature man. Had it been in that time, he wouldn't have been able to create that system because he lacked discipline. The reason why Ip Man had to drop him at one point. You lack discipline. But then he earned his discipline. He gained the discipline and became the father of his own system. In a martial arts heart, in any martial artist, anyone that practices martial arts, when you practice martial arts and you come to the conclusion where you can branch off, we honor that, but we want to see what you've done with it. The branching that he did with Jeet Kune Do, incorporating the footwork of what fencing is, mixed with a little bit of boxing, mixed with a little bit of ballet, mixed with a little bit of judo, mixed with a little bit of karate. Wonderful. Jeet Kune Do is great. It's an all around system because he was able to implement it and make it that, as opposed to, let's say, if you talk about Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu came from Jiu Jitsu. It's just the Jiu Jitsu that they practice in Brazil. And what's the difference between regular Jiu Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? I'll make it real simple for you. In Jiu Jitsu, we do not want to fall on the ground because Jiu Jitsu is the art of hand to hand combat of the samurai. Oh, I lost my sword. Okay, fine. I can still beat you up with my bare hands. I can still disarm you and use your sword against you. So falling to the ground makes no sense to us, a Judaica. This is what we call people that practice judo or jujitsu, like how they call karateka, karate person, a karateka. And judo or jujitsu, we call them Judecas. So when you're a Judeca, you understand the concept of where it came from, The samurais wore very heavy armor. The samurais wore very heavy chest plated things and shoulder things and knee pads, and because they wanted to be a tank.
Yep.
So you don't lose your sword and decide, all right, well, I'm going to fight from the ground now, not with no heavy armor on you. So
Right.
that's the difference between jujitsu and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Brazilian jiu-jitsu, they want to fight on the ground.
Right.
They want you on the floor because most
Hmm.
people are not trained to fight on the floor. But guess what? If you're a trained floor fighter, and listen, I don't knock any martial art because every martial art is effective if you practice it well enough and you master a common flow. But if
Yeah.
you're a floor fighter and you come to fight with me and you think that I'm gonna let you get into your groove, you think I'm gonna let you jump into that tidal wave of fighting me on the floor? Good luck with that. You want to be on the ground? You could stay on the ground. Fight's over. You can stay right there on the ground because I'm not going to
Right.
the ground to fight with you. And if you think you're just gonna, bear hug me, tackle me, um, pull some type of technique to try to get me to, you know, some type of grappling move, that's cool. Just remember that when you grapple, because your hands are on me, now you have dead hands. My hands are wide open. So while you're grappling me and your whole face is wide open and your chest and your neck, those are all targets. You're getting hit with a quick eight eight hit repetition Ip Man punch. Pa ta 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 ta. Quick.
Ooh.
8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm punching you in your
Hmm.
chin. I'm punching you under your jaw. I'm punching you in your neck. It's gonna be hard to breathe for a while.
Yo, I was so not to get off the topic. Have
Yeah.
you ever watched this guy by the name of Ramsey Dewey?
Dewey.
Yeah, he's a mixed martial artist that lives
Yeah, MMA.
in
MMA.
Shanghai. Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah. So I was like on his live and everything like that, and whatever. And he actually shouted me out though. So shout out to Ramsey Dewey.
Us.
So, oof,
Shout out to Dewey.
yep,
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah, brother. All right. It's about to be the 10 o'clock hour. I'm
I
gonna
hear you.
walk my people to the train. It is
Yeah,
pouring outside, so I'm gonna wear my Crocs. I don't care if my feet get wet. I'm from San Pedro.
yeah, as we should.
You know what I'm saying? We get our feet wet in San Pedro because if it rains too much, it be flooded. And you can't
Yep.
stop where you need to go because it's flooded. They expect you to get
Right.
there with your chancletas and then change your chancletas up from socks to shoes real quick.
Yep.
But if you're
That's the
needed
way.
somewhere, you got to be here at 3 o'clock. Oh, but it was raining cats and dogs. Okay, you couldn't bring clothes in a bag. Clothes in a bag. What you mean clothes in a
Exactly.
bag? Yeah, bring a change of clothes. You have to be presentable. Bro, it's raining
Yo,
cats and
yo,
dogs outside. Are
yo,
we okay?
I remember one day, and I kid you not, I was a kid, right? And it was raining so bad when my aunt went to my other aunts up in um up in Leone, right?
Yeah.
So when I went there, it rained so bad, my clothes was wet and stuff, and I was a little kid. I was like, hey, I was happy because I'm like, and then I had my older cousins like, okay, I was wearing like the big clothes or whatever. I was like, okay, this is a little bit big, but I was like, all right, shoot. I was I was like, okay, I'm with the big guys now. You didn't know nothing, so
DR is different, man. I know
yeah,
in my barrio as soon as it started raining hard, everybody would come out to play tag.
facts.
You don't see that over here. People run for their life when it rains. It's like if it's acid falling from the sky.
Yeah, man. But in DR is different. It's like, yo, everybody's playing ball. I was like, yo, and
You know
nobody
how many
cares. I'm like,
times
yo, that,
you know how many times we played volleyball under the rain? They're not even supposed to have the volleyball in the rain.
yo, I know, right?
What? Pelota playing baseball in the rain, sliding everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Over here slipping
Those,
and
those, are,
sliding everywhere, man. It's crazy.
those are the best times, man.
When I learned what cleats were for the first time, I'm like, oh, that's what cleats are. It's sneakers with nails.
Right.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I
Hmm.
think my grandpa tried to. I think my grandpa was making fun of my cousin, and he had
Hmm.
grabbed a pair of his regular sneakers and put half-inch nails through the bottom of the sole. And he said, "Oh, you say
Hmm.
you wanted some cleats, right? Here you go, some sneakers with nails." Oh my god, bro! I laughed about that for like 6 months. He said, "Here you go, some sneakers with nails." I'm like, "Wow." He,
Wow.
he took half-inch clavo de aceros, the real good steel hard cast iron nails. He took
Yep.
half-inch nails and hammered a bunch of nails through the bottom of the sole. So
Bag.
my cousin used that to go play baseball, and he was actually impressed that it worked. I said, "I'm more impressed that you put them on. That you didn't have shame to put them on." And he was like, "Man, if Grandpa built it, I'm gonna rock it." I'm like, all right, Papito gang, you heard?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up.
Rest in peace to my grandpa, legend in San Pedro, Papito Julia. He had
Hmm.
the restaurant that was in front of La Jerusalén Primera. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Right.
from Jerusalén Primera used to go eat over there.
All
Yeah,
right.
he,
I
yeah,
got a quick question.
hit me.
All right. All right. Did you ever have the chance to meet all right. I remember you telling me the story. So I know you met your grandfather. Did you have a chance to meet your great grandfather?
Yes, actually, God blessed me with more than one time. God blessed me with the opportunity of, you know, being on a domino table with my great grandpa, my dad, and me. 4 generations playing dominoes together. That was epic for me, man. That's how I knew God was real for me. That's epic, bro. That's very hard. It's very hard to come by something like that.
Bro, you blessed. And I'm gonna tell you that.
Amen.
By the day that I have children, they're not even gonna know who their grandparents are from me, from my side. You know what I mean?
That's wild, bro. I
Yeah,
was able
man.
to I was able to sit down at a domino table
Yeah,
with my great grandpa, my grandpa, my dad, and I. Wonderful
yeah,
time. Wonderful time, man.
yeah,
Just
man.
looking at the family resemblance of how it passed down. Just try to
Yeah,
like, huh, huh. Because we are the seed of our father. As much as
yeah,
as
we
much
are.
as much as we resemble our mother, because we were in the mother for 9 months, we are the seed of our father. So when you look
Yeah.
at your father's bloodline
Mm-hmm.
going up,
Yep.
you're supposed to look like somebody. If you don't look like somebody, there's a problem.
Yeah. You want to know what's funny?
Yeah.
It's funny, right? My mother, when my mother was alive, right? One day there was some man.
God bless
So
her
I was
soul.
walking. God bless her soul. I was walking with my cousin, with my prima hermano, my compadre. So we walking in Coaswell, doing whatever. Then some man came out and he was like, "Yo," You look like your grandfather. I was like, remind you, I only seen pictures of my grandfather because he passed away before I was born.
Okay.
So I was like, wow, that's an honor. My mom was like, yo, who is this guy to go in and pick you out of everything of anybody to say that you look like your grandfather? I was like, I don't know, but the man obviously knows you.
Right. And
So
obviously
yeah,
knows the rest of the family. He's seen all the other boys. If out of all the cousins, you resemble the most to, whoever that patriarca is, because I, re- I grew up in a time when grandparents were generals, bro.
yep,
I grew up in a time, it's not about respecting your elders. Our elders were our elders were extraordinary gentlemen and extraordinary ladies. They were people of mass respect. I don't understand
thank
today.
you.
I don't understand today's population, bro. You know what it is? I think it's New York, bro. I think it's America. New York with this American dream bull crap, they have really sponged out the minds of what people are supposed to be and become. It doesn't take a
Exactly,
40-year-old man to become mature. By the time our folks were 40, they had been mature 20 years ago.
yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with America, bro. Like, there's a lot of arrested development going on. I know a lot of 40-year-olds right now that think that swear to God that they 16 and that they're gonna rocket to Electric Avenue. I'm like, no, you're not, my man.
I see my gray hairs. I'm like, yeah, I'm too old for this stuff. And then on top of it, it's like you have certain people. Like when I was in my 20s, you had certain people in their 40s. I was like, and then now look, I'm 40. I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm not gonna do this. So,
I'm 42 and I feel great, but you
yep,
know, there's things that I used to do in my youth, not that I wouldn't do now because I'm scared of what might happen, but I wouldn't do now only because I know that what's gonna happen.
exactly,
The difference between wisdom and knowledge. Knowledge you can get from a book, but wisdom is knowledge when you apply it.
exactly.
Yeah, brother. Um, like I was saying earlier, it's the 10 o'clock hour. I'm gonna
Yep,
have to make a quick run. You know, Fatal, we see you, man. We see you texted. We see you commented.
yeah,
I'm gonna wrap this up real quick because I gotta head out the door. So
gotcha.
everyone, blessings. Take care. Be safe. In the next edition, we will be talking about home self defense.
Yes,
I really need everyone to not just tune in and focus, but I need everyone to start learning certain things that will help you in your home and will protect your family. You know, a lot of us tend to have, especially, I know we're men, so we're gonna have that man pride of wanting to stick our chest, in the middle of a gun and trying to protect your family. But you need to learn how to relax and take control of the moment.
right,
There's a lot of things that happen wrong because we want to give in to the emotion of, oh, I'm angry that you just broke through my door. Okay, you can deal with that anger later. Right now, this person just broke through your door. Play it cool. Let the person get comfortable slightly and then shock and awe. Disrupt their comfortability and then attack your attacker and get that person out of your house.
yes,
All right. So next week on the martial arts edition, home self defense, things that we need to learn to protect our home, and things that we should be teaching our children so they can protect themselves as well in the street.
amen.
All right, my family. Us. God bless
Us.
everyone, and hiya.
Yeah. Well, that's it, folks. And welcome to another. And as I'm saying, this is another edition of Open Topics with DonArmando, the martial arts edition. Stay tuned for next Wednesday for I might have more guests for us. So peace and blessings, and I'm out.